Alright boys and girls, there's some pretty massive changes coming up with the CP that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about. So we're going to discuss that in this video. I'm going to give you my go-tos that I use on a daily basis. And I've also been doing some in-depth testing with a lot of the CP that aren't commonly used just to see if we're missing something. And I have found some rough diamonds out there and I have put them into my slots and use them on a daily basis. So let's get into it, boys and girls. First up, we need to talk about the nerfs that are happening across the board with a lot of the offensive and defensive CPs. So your offensive CP like Deadly Aim, Master at Arms, Vermitage, all of those kinds of stuff are getting brought down to 6% from 10%. And then all the defensive ones like Ironclad and Duelist Rebuff and those kinds of things, I'll have them on screen here so you can see the ones I'm talking about, have all been brought down to 6%. So it's a bit of a give and take. The offensive's getting nerfed, the defensive's getting nerfed. Overall, I think for PvP this is a bit of a defensive nerf just because of some of the alternate options that we do have with offense with some of the new CP. But I think day to day we're not really going to notice the changes here, or the nerfs should I say, to these CP. Alright, first up when it comes to the new CP is Exploiter. Now I don't think this was going to be overly that strong if they hadn't nerfed the other offensive CP, but now that they have nerfed all the other offensive CP and it's all 6%, a 10% CP does look pretty nice. Now, I've seen a lot of people break this down for PvE and it's a bit meh, but in PvP we're more worried about burst potential, so having a smaller window doesn't matter to us as much as it does in PvE. So those that don't know, off balance lasts 7 seconds and can happen every 22 seconds. So it's got a decent-ish uptime, about a third roughly. But yeah, it's offering a great burst window, and a lot of two-hander builds are using off balance with heavy stuns into their burst anyway. So this is a great option. Now, if you don't have access or easy access to off balance, I don't think it's going to be worth chasing it for just this CP point, but if you do, this is going to be a wonderful CP. Alright, next up is Force of Nature. Now this started off as a bit of a mer CP, but we've found out a few more things. Now, I do want to put an asterisk next to this. It's pretty hard to do in-depth testing in some scenarios on the PTS because there's no large-scale PvP. But it looks like this is proccing off more than just the basic 8 status effects. And also potentially could be proccing, like double proccing on different people's burning and that kind of stuff. So the potential for this in PvP is huge. And there's, specific ways of being able to easily get status effect with like destro skills and stuff like that. So there is a lot of potential, and this is, to be honest, probably a bit over-tuned for PvP. So I don't know if it's going to get adjusted or what, but I'm keeping it a little bit reserved until we can do some proper in-depth testing on the live server and get to the full bottom of this CP. But it's looking to be quite powerful. But let me know what you think of these two new CPs in the comment section, and let's move on, boys and girls. Alright, so next up, we'll call this Johnny's top picks. These are basically just the 2 CP that I run on any build regardless of what it is or basically what I'm doing. So that's Survival Instincts, so that reduces your core combat skills by 25%, so things like dodge roll, CC break, all of that kind of stuff. It just really is a sustained monster, especially for magic builds. You don't have a whole lot of stam, so this is really going to help you out in that area. But even with hybrid and stam builds, just reducing those by, I don't think people realize how much they do core combat skills stuff. Like, you're doing it a lot, so having 25% reduced cost on it is really strong. So if you're not running this, I don't know what you're doing. you need to go do yourself a favor and slot this bad boy. Next up is the speed CP, and this is another no-brainer. In Citadel, speed is life. If you get caught in the open and with 10 people, you just got to bend over and take it. So speed is life. You know, you need to get to line of sight and, you know, not allow 10 people just to bend you over and, you know, pound you. Now, if you do like 10 people pounding you in the open, then, you know, maybe don't slot speed CP and stay in the open, but I'm not going to judge. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to offer my opinion, and I like to be nice and quick so I can line aside those very, very thirsty, mean AD. Alright, let's get into the final part of this video, and the part that is probably the most exciting. So we did a lot of testing with a lot of the non-meta CP just to try and find if there was any rough diamonds out there, any CP that may have been overlooked. And you know, I'm not saying that these aren't used at all, so let me know in the comment section if you have been using some of these and you know the rest of us are all idiots. Let me know in the comment section. But we tested things like smoothing shield. This is a 15% chance to heal you when you take damage. It had potential, but Battle Spirit wrecks it. It just makes the healing on it really bad, even if you are severely outnumbered. So yeah, not that great. Hardened, this is increase your CC immunity, but this isn't applied to immovable pots, so it really limits its use and makes it really not that great. The dodge roll, so the one where you get a free dodge roll every 30 seconds is bad when you break this down. Obviously it's going to vary a little bit on builds that have certain different dodge roll costs, but it works out to be about 160 stam recovery, which is meh. There's better recovery CPs than that. Now we get into the CP that started to surprise me, and this next one, I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong about this CP. So I know some people have been using it and I've always wrote it off as just kind of stupid, but it's kind of good. And that's the auto break free CP. So I think personally, I just forgot how expensive break free was. So break free can cost anywhere between 4,500 all the way up to over 5,000 stamina. So basically this works every 21 seconds, and when you break that down, it's anywhere between 450 to just over 500 stam recovery. It's pretty damn solid on the sustain front, especially if you're a stam build and not a hybrid or a mag build, so stam recovery to you is important and the others aren't. This is really solid, and then you throw on top the fact that the game's CC breaking, auto CC breaking for you once every 21 seconds. If you're using a movable pot, you could kind of look at this as like one auto break, and then you got one break after that, then you get another free one after that kind of thing. Very solid in my opinion. Next up is Refreshing Stride. This is another pretty solid CP point. So this is 500 health recovery, 500 mag recovery when you're sprinting. So with all your buffs up, this could be close to 800 mag recovery, so 700 to 800 mag recovery. Health recovery is a bit meh because of vamp, but if you're not vamped, even better, you're getting a lot more out of this CP, but it is a mag sustain monster. This is just giving you bucket loads of mag recovery. It's crazy. So if you're a mag build and you want some ton of mag recovery and you sprint a lot, because some people do, I personally sprint a lot. If I'm not casting skills or blocking, I'm sprinting. Yeah, maybe it was more beneficial to me, but anyway. Now we move into my personal favorite. So this is Bracing Anchor, and this gives 20% more block mitigation, but you are slowed by 16%. Really, really good damage mitigation, and the slow thought was gonna bother me a lot more than it was. I didn't notice it. I honestly did not notice it, and I think that's just got a lot to do with what you're doing when you're blocking. Generally, you're not blocking all the time, and if you do need to get line of sight or move, then you're just dropping blocks, so you're not really noticing it. I'll have on screen the difference. It's not that big. So basically you're getting 20% block mitigation. It's really strong. It made me so damn tanky, like actually really noticeably more tanky. And this could be paired with on guard, so this gives you more block mitigation when you're under the CC immunity. So if you're running immovable pots, this could give you even more block mitigation and just make you crazy tanky. Now, one CP that I failed to mention earlier when we were talking about the changes to CP points next patch, Overload. Now, this is getting buffed crazy next patch. This is going to be, I think it's 12,000, 12,700, somewhere around that area. It's absolutely getting insanely buffed. Now, I don't think this is going to get used on normal builds, but on any kind of bomb build, this is going to be insanely strong. The radius on it is kind of what kills it from it being used on a normal build. It's only 4 meters, but this is basically a free VD for most builds. So just imagine this with VD. Like, if you're in a radius of someone when this shit goes off, you're going bye-byes. You are fucked. So I thought I'd just mention that. I'm sure some people have mentioned it in the comments that I forgot to mention it at the start of the video. But if you have any questions, guys, feel free to stop by my Twitch channel. Make sure you sub and hit that bell to not miss that giveaway video if you want yourself a new shiny gaming mouse. And as always, boys and girls, I'll catch you in the next one.